Hey, Admin Mastermind. So, Joshua Stamper, I am part of the Teach Better team as the training and development specialist. I'm with my wonderful partner, Brad Hughes, with the same title. I didn't realize that until lately that we both had the same title, but we just had a wonderful mastermind session with phenomenal leaders throughout this country. And we are doing this weekly. So we did this last week. We sent out via email, but if you notice, this is a little bit different of a background and a little bit of a setup change for us, but we want to make it official and really give you a resource. If you were only there for 5 minutes, or maybe you got crazy busy, you weren't able to attend this week, we want to make sure that we gave you the opportunity to be a part of the conversation, to learn from the topic, and be able to come in next week and jump in without missing a beat. Brad, did you want to add anything to this new format that we've got?
Just think it's a great opportunity for us to highlight some of the great conversation we're having with educational leaders around the world. Also, a way for us to say thank you to those that are able to join us because you and I, as facilitators, we grow through every interaction as well. So we get better through this process, and we're really grateful. Whenever one of these wonderful educational leaders has the time to spend with us Tuesdays at 9 a.m. Eastern.
Yeah, so we're going to be recording these each week. It'll be about 5 or 6 minutes long, just kind of giving you a quick recap. We're also going to have this featured in YouTube. So if you just know that you missed, where's the resource? That's where you're going to find it. So we'll also send that out via email. So if you're not a part of our admin mastermind list, make sure that you've signed up. If you sign up for the link each week over at teachbetter.com/mastermind, you'll automatically be a part of that email list, and you'll get all of this resources each week. But Brad, this was kind of an interesting week because we are kind of in between topics, right? So we were just finishing up the June topic, which was strategic planning, but then also going into July, which is focus on the focus, which was a perfect bridge between the two topics. So we started off the conversation with a would you rather, and typically those questions are fun, although I am known for making them a little bit more difficult in regards to really making you think. Brad, I think there was some steam coming out of some folks this morning as they were trying to consume their coffee. But the would you rather question was, would you rather have a detailed strategic plan that is difficult to adapt in a rapidly changing environment, or have a flexible strategic framework that required consistent adjustments but allow for quick responses? So I know that was a big question, but what was your take from the responses from the would you rather?
Well, I think the would you rather responses were a little bit mixed because I think we recognize as educational leaders that our strategic plan is the foundation,
Yep.
what we believe, where we've been, where we plan to go. That represents the ideal, whether we're talking about a single campus or a district. And so I think some rigidity, I think some expectations that is a rock solid foundation upon which we build is notable as well. I mean, when you get into operationalizing the strategic plan, that's where the flexibility comes in, and that's where we as school leaders, and that's where we, with the educators that we serve, have that flexibility because we have the opportunity to leverage the incredible people that we lead and work with every single day, and we have the responsibility to help gather people into the process of identifying where we want to be and how far we have to go, and then how can we work together to leverage our interests and skills and unique talents to get things better and better.
Yeah. And this question really launched the rest of our conversation
Yeah.
from Brandy, who's new to a district as a superintendent. She was asking about, how can we provide strategies with our staff, with our district, to really get some strategic planning collaboration. So that's really important to make sure that everybody is involved. She had a cultural assessment. She was getting some, data from her new district, and she's, curious on what strategies. So honestly, if you guys have strategies that you can think of that was beneficial for your school, campus, or district, and you want to share that out to us, please, reach out to Brad or I, because we would love to send that to Brandy. But, Brad, what were some things that, people reacted to or provided in regards to strategies, to build that collaboration?
Trying to guide people to get involved in the process it can be risky if you lead with the data, especially if the data is dire, if the data indicates that something needs to happen and needs to happen immediately, or there's a huge gap to bridge. That can be intimidating. We want to make sure, as Dave Schmidl reminded us, we have to remind ourselves who we are and what we continue to believe and strive in. Like, who are we now, and where have we had the successes, and who are we as educators, as individuals, and as a collective? Where can we lean on each other, and where can we lean on our specific gifts and talents to rally the support needed to move into those significant gaps that need to be addressed based on the data that's happening. So I think, recognizing that we as individual administrators, as well as a member of a school or a campus community, we are the irreplaceable gift in every interaction and every opportunity that we have. And so knowing ourselves as school leaders, knowing who we are, what we stand for, and leveraging how we can be instrumental in making those things happen is key.
That's awesome. Yeah, I loved to trying to think of who the leader was, but someone had talked about, being new on a campus and honoring the past, but also, walking alongside of them versus, I'm new, I'm going to change everything, I'm the answer. So I think that's easy to do, especially when you're coming in new and getting an assessment like that, like Brandy did, to say, like, I'm here to fix all of the things that were done poorly in the past, and that's not what new leadership is all about. So I love what you talked about, Brad, as far as data and some of the things that were provided. The last question that really was the bridge from our last topic of strategic planning to our new focus on the focus topic was, how do you prioritize initiatives and ensure that they align with your organizational strategic goals? And what were your thoughts in regards to trying to bridge the two topics?
The power of an effective and a collaboratively created strategic plan is that if you are new to a campus, or if you've been at a campus for 10 years, Josh, all of us are aligned as members of a district or as of a faculty of a campus with putting that strategic plan, that ideal, into operation. And so then it's through the relationships, I think, that we agreed, today in our discussion, but also I think we can agree with more of a global view, that it's through the relationships that we put that strategic plan into operations. And then it's through relationships that we as school leaders have the mechanisms to monitor and support, adapt, or give critical feedback where it's needed. But it all comes down to blending the relationships and the knowledge of the people that we serve with our overall goals. And so that's where I think, there are a lot of gaps to be filled by school leaders, both in translating strategic plans into operations, but also reflecting on, who do I need to get to know better on my faculty and team? Who do I need to align myself more closely with? Who do I need to have a critical conversation with, because there doesn't seem to be a meeting of the minds? And one of the things that is the most difficult is when the adults that we serve and work with are not yet in alignment with who we have agreed to be as a community or as a district or as a faculty. Leveraging relationships to have those conversations, to say, I believe in you, I love and care for you, and because I do, I want to make sure that we have your support, and we have, what do you need? How can I help? That pressure and support to make sure that we are all aligned in our practice.
Love it. All right. So for those who are watching on YouTube, if you have any strategies that have been effective in regards to collaboration with strategic planning, drop that in the comment section so everyone can see that. And that would help, I think, a lot of leaders, especially during the summer, as we are really focused on setting things up for the upcoming school year. Of course, if you want to join this conversation next week, Focus on the Focus, that is the link right there, teachbetter.com/mastermind. It is free. It does not cost you anything other than your time. So make sure that you're joining Brad and I next week. We can't wait for this upcoming topic for July, Focus on the Focus. And Brad, do you have any closing thoughts as we end this conversation?
Just what a pleasure it is to be alongside you here, Josh, and alongside, incredible school leaders doing wonderful things, even through the summer. I mean, the summer is an important opportunity for us to reflect on and just sort of simmer on our successes, and also get ourselves fired up for who we want to be and what kind of communities we want to grow in the new school year. So a great opportunity for anyone looking to improve themselves and to improve their schools through collaboration. Please join us Tuesdays, 9 a.m. Eastern.
Awesome. You want to close it out, Brad?
Done.